What's going on? Travis here, TravisTesla.com, TrainAggressive.com, coming at you. I just wanted to go over 3 of my favorite shoulder mobility, soft tissue movements that I like to do. Typically do these before just about every single session, but most definitely before sessions that involve any type of overhead work, so whether that be snatching, clean and jerks, obviously presses, handstand push-ups, any of that type of stuff, or if I come in and my shoulders just feel beat up and tight, I'm always doing these 3 main movements here, which I'm going to go over. All right, and these specifically are for people out there that have shoulder problems. All right, and it always gets me when people say, you know, snatching is dangerous, it's going to injure your shoulder. You know, overhead pressing with a barbell is dangerous. I think that's complete bullshit. Because as long as you do it with good form and technique, and then your shoulders have the proper mobility to do it, those movements are great. Where most people run into problems is when they have past shoulder injuries that they've never really gotten fixed, more than likely because they haven't focused in on improving their soft tissue work and their overall mobility of their shoulders, and they just continue to train, doing overhead press stuff and whatnot. Then they run into problems, get injured, and then they blame the movements. All right, it's not the movements, it's the person. All right, so you can improve your issues with your shoulders by using these different movements that I'm going to show you. So what you need, a lacrosse ball, ideally, for your soft tissue stuff, and then you'll want a big band. All right, so the band I have, Performax band right here. And what I would recommend doing for your first time, I'd get a lighter band so there's not as much tension on it. This is a thicker band. All right, so it's going to be a lot of resistance with this one. But first movement we're going to do here is shoulder dislocators. All right, this isn't anything new, but if you've never done it, it's going to really help mobilize those shoulders and get them through a better range of motion. Your first time doing this, you're probably going to more than likely get stuck, you know, in this position. You're not going to be able to go any further down. So that's why you're using a band, because a band's going to stretch and it's going to allow you to go through that full range of motion. So showing you from the side, keep your elbows locked out. We're going to come all the way over the head. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Keep those elbows locked out. We're going to come all the way down to the butt. Then we're coming all the way back in front. That's 1 rep. You'd want to do this about 20 to 25 times before your session. All right? And if it's real gunky and real tight, then you're just going to have to work through that range of motion. A couple things you can do as you pass overhead, you can kind of bring your right arm closer to your head to let that shoulder get through a little bit easier, then come back into the middle. Then we come back through, right arm back close to the head, and then we can switch it to help get through that range of motion if you're really, really tight. I remember the first time I did this, I got to about right here, and I was done. All right, I had to go with a really light band that stretched out and allowed me to go through that full range of motion. Once you get to a certain point, you can take a PVC pipe, which doesn't stretch at all, obviously, and go through that full range of motion. It'll really help that out. So what you're trying to do is just improve that mobility right there. Now, to help assist with that, boom, we got our shoulder dislocators. Now we got our lacrosse ball. What we want to do is break up all that soft tissue. All right, so you want to focus in on a couple different areas. So upper pec, front deltoid. What you're going to do, take the ball, you're going to go against the wall. You're going to put your arm behind your back like so. You're going to put the ball right on your front delt right there, right at the top of your pec. And you're just going to dig in to that area. And you're going to find some tight areas. And it's probably going to be really, really painful. But what you're trying to do is break up that soft tissue to loosen things up a little bit, all right? Most of us, you know, we're so tight in the front, we're actually hunched over, all right? So that causes a problem for any type of overhead work. We're rolled forward. So we want to loosen that up, open it up as best we can. So we're hitting the whole front side here. You want to spend about a good, if you already got good range of motion, probably about a minute digging in, just loosening that stuff up. If you're tighter, you want to go about 2 to 3 minutes and just really dig in. And it's just like any other soft tissue work. Once you run into an area that has, or you find a big knot, you're just going to sit on that area, just really drill it, and you want to smooth that knot out, all right? And if you've had past injuries, more than likely you're going to have more knots, obviously, all right? So you need to focus in on that. Now your next one, what you're going to do, we're going to hit the backside. So your upper traps and your rear delts, all right? Same thing here, but instead of going against the wall, you can go against the wall if you want, but if you want to put more pressure on it and pinpoint it a little bit more, you can just set this ball on the ground, and we'll go ahead and lay on the ground. We'll put all that pressure right there. And so you'll just find your tight areas there. So upper trap, rear delt. What you're going to do is now you're going to move that arm through that range of motion. So we want to be able to reach all the way overhead as if we were pressing a barbell or a dumbbell or a kettlebell over our head. And then we're going to come straight over the top, back down, come straight back over the top. And we want to find an area that's really painful, all right? So we're breaking up that soft tissue, and instead of coming straight up and down here, we can really mobilize that arm. So we're coming out to the side, bringing it across the body, and again, we're really hammering that soft tissue right there, all right? So that's another one you can do, and once you do that, your shoulders should feel a lot better, a lot more warmed up. And like I said, this is something that you can do before every single session. Especially sessions where you're going to be doing any type of overhead work, so overhead squats, overhead pressing, any type of kettlebell work, handstand push-up work. And then also, people find themselves getting into trouble when they're squatting. They complain about shoulder pain when they're squatting. You can do this when you're squatting. All right, and speaking of squatting, front squats, that seems to be a big issue for a lot of people. And a lot of times it could be from shoulder mobility, could be wrist mobility, but getting into that front rack for the front squats, and I'll give you a bonus one here with the band since we got it out. Just your band rack stretch. So what you'll do is you'll step in your band here, boom, pull it up, and we're mobilizing this right here. So this is going to help improve that mobility in the shoulder, but also kind of hit the lats, the tricep, all that stuff, which is going to directly cross over to that front rack position. So whether it be front squats, catching in a clean, or racking before a press, all that good stuff is going to cross over and help you train better with less pain, especially if you got shoulder pain. So there are 3 main ones, plus a bonus one right there for you. Check out the details below for more info about getting your shoulders healthier, stronger, unbreakable, so you can train 110% ham. So drop any comments, thoughts you have. Keep living and training aggressive. Go 110% ham. Travis, I'm out.